kind of get going. Well, we are live. We're not Memorex, I can tell you that. Boom, boom, boom. We're live, but I'm not live. I'm trying to figure it out. Let me post this on your Facebook show. Yeah, no kidding, right? Or your Facebook show. Do you have a Facebook show?
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't know. I got something on the email yesterday telling you that you put me in charge of a bunch of different things.
No, I just made you an admin.
Oh.
Why? What did I put you in charge of?
Okay.
All right, I just posted it on Facebook for you since I know you don't like to do that.
Thank you.
No worries, man. No worries.
It's not that I don't like to.
Yeah.
I'm not good at anything like that.
Well, I think you are. I just think that you don't think you are.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's it.
You're my inspiration.
I don't know about that, but I know that we'll get your. Hey, Ruthie.
Yeah.
Look at. You're not going to like this. I'm sorry. Look at what's right next to Greg on the screen.
I don't see it.
You don't see the tongue going at him? Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I know it's a little inappropriate. Hey, what a great picture you had on Facebook yesterday.
Thank you.
Yeah, I actually saved it for 5 minutes because I was gonna give Greg a bad time about it for you know. I was gonna try to make that your guys' profile pic.
Oh, that'd have been great.
Yeah. So all right. So tonight we're gonna jump right into topics, but we're gonna try something a little bit different. So first of all, I need to find out if Lisa's computer's working. She's never been able to look at you guys, a little couple.
He's trying to say I'm a dog.
Nice. So for everybody out there, this is GP's better half, Ruthie. She's going to sit in tonight for a little bit. We're just doing a laid-back, fun show that basically I'm trying to experiment with some stuff tonight, so it's not going to be any, hardcore stuff. But I do want to find out. Lisa's never been able to watch a show on YouTube on her computer. So if her computer's working, let's try this.
Okay.
I would love to have a latte right now.
Mm.
Oh, that does sound.
Wow.
All right. So
now, does she make
let's
those
see.
at home, or does she run out to Starbucks to take care of that?
She's got one of those stupid machines she bought.
Oh,
Is
wow.
it a Keurig?
No, well, we've got a couple Keurigs too. I got a personal Keurig, and then I got a bigger business-sized Keurig, and then we've got one of those fancy espresso machine thingies that she made.
Oh, so next time if I come over, I bring my own little personal cups. I can make my own coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't need to bring your own cups. I got cups. I got the Tully's Keurig cups.
The little guys. I'm a hot chocolate guy, not a coffee guy, but.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, bring your own hot chocolate. I'm now on the paleo diet. I've lost 6 pounds in 1 week. Do you know what the paleo diet is?
Lean, mean, fight machine. I know what it is because you told me, so I can't answer.
Do you know what it is, Ruthie?
I don't.
Okay. So for the last couple months, I've been really, really depressed because what guy doesn't? I love bacon. I need bacon to be able to breathe during the day. And so Lisa decided, and our daughter Ashley decided somehow that bacon was bad for you. And hold on, I'm going to change that.
It is.
Who gives them a right to say that?
I happen to agree with him.
But it's not.
No.
And if I
I'm
ever,
not just a river in Egypt.
if I ever want to have something in my life work, I need to make sure it's on the 700 Club, because Lisa watches that every single morning, and they did some special on there with a guy he's 60, 65 years old. The guy looks amazing, and previous to that, he used to look like me, which is not amazing. And And so he went on the paleo diet, and it basically what it is. If you can kill it or grow it, you can eat it.
That includes bacon.
Yeah, and so not having processed food, not having white sugar, not having bread, not having, we can't eat all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but you can eat protein, all the meats for protein. You can eat, so every day. So here's what I have for breakfast every morning.
I was just going to ask you that.
It's not, trust me, it's not enough food, but I've lost 6 pounds, so that must be. I have 1 egg over easy.
Oh. Okay.
Two pieces of bacon. Which the only way I can eat an egg without having like toast and all that stuff on it, which I don't get in this diet, is I take the bacon and I break it up and I put it all over the egg. Then I can scoop it up and and eat it, and it's perfect. And then next to that is a big thing to cut up. Got blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, and bananas, stuff like that. So yeah, and that's my breakfast.
No fiber?
Water.
There's no fiber in there?
Not in that one. So, but I'm regular. and then for dinner, so like every single night is this really great salad, and then she throws grapes and blackberries and blueberries and stuff like that on there. And usually, like tonight and the other night, she goes out and gets the all-natural beef patty. That's hormone-free and all that. So
I love her.
Barbecue a burger and put a little bit of cheese on it. You're not supposed to have dairy with it per se, but have a little cheese on it, and that's it. And that's dinner, and it's filling.
Well, it doesn't sound that bad. I mean, as long as you're getting a good balance with fiber in it. I guess I'm.
What's fiber?
So you're eating 3 meals a day?
Yeah, at least. I try to get technically, if you want to be a fat burning machine, you're supposed to eat 6 or 7 times a day. That's
what they say. Now they're starting to say that's not true. You never know, man. Dr. Oz is one day one thing, one day the next with those guys. You never know.
Right. But so far, and then I've been working the heavy bag. I've been working that.
Oh, okay. So that was going to be my next thing. Are you working out?
Yeah, I can't do a whole lot because I've got like 14 screws in my back and 8 screws in my hip, but I can still kick the bag, and I work out on it pretty heavy. So yeah.
Palmer, what are you doing?
Killing spider.
Oh,
nice.
Sorry, my hair.
All right, so we're going to get to a couple topics first because I did load a few things that I wanted to see, and then we're going to talk about money laundering thing that Greg wanted to talk about before. But I'm putting up our new picture there. Can you see that? Never give up.
Never ever give up.
I love it.
Yeah, I love that. That frog, for all intents and purposes, is gone. His life is over. But I
saved him.
Yeah, there you go. He's going to choke out the problem. So one of the things that what are you guys going to do for the 4th of July? Do you know?
Well, actually, I was invited to a friend's house, and I hadn't had a chance to tell him yet, but I received an invitation last night. But otherwise...
So that means Greg's not going to do anything 4th of July because you're going to a friend's house?
Here's the thing down here, and I don't know. You correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
I probably will.
Yes. I don't know how they do it in your neck of the woods, but I'm very, very upset at the fact that every city down here in Southern California celebrates the 4th of July on the 3rd of July. Now listen, if we're going to do that, let's change it to the 3rd of July.
At midnight?
It's 4th of July. They let all the fireworks off. They do everything. And my whole thing is, this is just another way for them to get an extra day off. They take the 3rd off, the 4th off, which this year they'll get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Some of them will probably even take Monday off.
All right.
It's a joke. I mean, listen, it's called the 4th of July for a reason. But they light off all the fireworks. They have all their celebrations. They do it all on the 3rd of July down here.
Does it like come into the midnight, so like they're ringing in the 4th of July like we do New Year's Eve?
No. They start this at like noon.
Yeah.
Really?
On the 3rd. Yeah, all the celebrations, the food, the fireworks, everything is done before 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at the latest.
Wow. All right. Have you guys ever heard of Dinesh can't think of his last name. But he did that movie 2016. Did you see the movie 2016?
No.
I promise you this. That looks really stupid. What am I doing? For some reason, these headphones are just freaking me out.
I can hear you.
Oh,
I can't
wow.
see you, though.
Really?
Look at that.
You can hear the show?
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh, wow. Look at this, gang.
Oh, I love it.
Click on.
Look at that. That's an ugly mug.
See that? Ruthie, that's your
Love
man.
it.
No pun intended.
GP.
That's one ugly mug.
And then wait, let me turn it.
What did she put in there for you?
Latte.
Oh, she made you your latte?
Yeah, but out of almond. And then that's my guy, or little monkey. And then I'm always going it the wrong way. The blast live.
Are we going to get sued by Eminem?
We're going to talk about Eminem tonight. Why?
Well, I don't know. His picture's on that mug.
Oh, the monkey. Nice. That
No.
was what?
No, that's not Brett, is it?
Yeah,
That's a picture of Eminem.
it looks like it. Does kind of look like Eminem, doesn't it? Holy mackerel!
Tell me that's not Eminem.
That's true. That's true. All right, so Lisa can't hear me, and that is horrible. Oh my God! Yeah.
Uh-oh. Look out.
No flavor.
Get a minute here.
I know.
See, there's no flavor. That's because I'm on this stupid paleo diet. Freaking A, man. I hate
You know what,
this.
I gotta tell everybody on my I'm running a Biggest Loser challenge at work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to tell them about your paleo diet.
Look it up. You can type it in like it's an Android app. Go Paleo for Beginners. It's a pretty cool little thing.
All right, I'll do
Yeah.
it. I'll let them know.
So here's what I'm going to do on the 4th of July. Now, I promise you guys this. I promise. You got to go on Netflix or whatever it is and watch the movie 2016. This came out 3 years ago or something by Dinesh D'Souza. And they targeted him, the IRS and Obama targeted him because of this movie that's coming out on the 4th of July. And they got him for campaign fraud, and he admitted to it. He went to court and he says, yes, I gave $20,000 to a friend who's a longtime friend who's running for Congress in New York, and she lost or whatever. But he goes, I was wrong, I did it. But they tried to throw him in prison and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So here's a trailer. It's about a two-minute trailer I want you guys to see about Dinesh D'Souza. There's 2 trailers, and we may not play both, but I'm going to play the first one and just see what you think. The movie 2016 was really awesome. He went down to Kenya and interviewed Obama's brother and all that stuff. But
Wow.
Here's what I'm doing on the 4th of July, only because this comes out. So let me turn this up.
So we're going to the movies.
I'm going to the movies.
Yeah.
Let me focus in on that guy right there.
It came out Thursday.
No, he said you're going to the movies tomorrow.
4th of July.
Oh, that's right. About the movie.
Get rid of that. Here we go.
Patriotic film being released in time for the 4th of July. And yet it's not a rah-rah patriotism that uncritically celebrates America. Rather, it's the patriotism that was referred to by Edmund Burke when he said, to love our country should be lovely. And what Burke is saying is that true patriotism is loving your country not just because it's yours, but because it's good. Now, there has developed on the left, and this has started in the 60s, but it's now become very mainstream. It's the presumption of leftist politics, democratic, progressive politics. It's also the presumption of the stuff that's taught in schools and colleges all around the country. The basic idea is that America is a society that is based on theft. America is a society based on stealing and plunder. This is the defining feature of American history. We stole the country from the Indians. It was their land, and the white man took it by force. We stole the labor of the African Americans to build the country, at least the South. We stole half of Mexico in the Mexican War. That American foreign policy today is based on plunder. Why are we in the Middle East? Obviously to take their oil. We don't intervene in places like Haiti because they don't have any oil. And capitalism, America's economic system, the free market system, is a form of theft, robbing people of what Obama calls their fair share. Now, this idea that America is based on theft is never effectively answered. And in fact, many of its premises seem undeniable. Didn't we in fact take the country from the Indians? Didn't we in fact steal the labor of the blacks? And so on. So in this film, America, I want to take this progressive leftist critique head on. I want it to be articulated by its best spokesman, and then I want to effectively answer and debunk it. That's the central ideological question answered in the film America.
I'm so there.
Yeah. What about the Chinese?
Huh?
What about the Chinese?
Well, yeah, I mean, whoops, let me turn that back. Yeah, but the Chinese are doing business with us right now. They're loaning us money so we can give it to Egypt and everywhere else.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying that we use them for a lot of labor too. If it wasn't for the Chinese, we wouldn't have the railroads.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he could have mentioned the Chinese, that we use them. I mean, without that, we wouldn't have had that TV show Kung Fu.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
You know
David Carradine. Do you know, this is a true story, and we're going to bring him up in a little bit later, Bruce Lee. It's funny you would mention that.
All right.
I have a segment on Bruce Lee coming up. Do you know that Bruce Lee was actually tried out for the TV show, and he was supposed to be Grasshopper? He was supposed to be the part in David Carradine, but they said that the producers said that they didn't feel like people could understand him well enough, and
right.
They didn't want a real Chinese person.
Right.
So they had David Carradine do it. Do you guys want to see the second trailer, a little different, where he actually interviews a bunch of lefties?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna put that on real quick because this is the first one that I actually saw, and let me pull that up and make sure the volume is up. That's all good. That's not it. This is it.
In the American era, but this moment of American triumph is very fragile.
Of course, we can say thievery was a critical element to the expansion of American empire and the establishment of the American way of life. Of course.
The settlers came in, drove out, exterminated the native population. That's one of the two original sins of society.
Another being slavery?
The other is slavery.
The ideal of racial reparations is a good one. I think it's one about justice.
Why do you want to blow up Mount Rushmore? You're quoted saying it's like having Hitler looking over you.
It's a symbol of oppression. It's a symbol of genocide for our people.
And there's a reason why most of the world regards the United States as a predatory colonial power.
The war with Germany has ended. The forces of freedom have
When you hear the name America, what are some words that come to your mind?
European expansion, conquest, colonization, genocide. Private capital, unless it's constrained in some fashion, is extremely destructive.
And more destructive than even centralized federal power?
In a country like ours, yes, much more destructive.
This argument at the core is a moral indictment of America and of the free market system.
Reagan called the Soviet Union, you remember, an evil empire, and the Soviet Union is dissolved. So who's the new evil empire?
Well, you're sitting in it.
How badly we need right now a Washington, a Lincoln, a Reagan. Well, we don't have them, but we do have us.
Tell you what, I can't wait. I'm gonna go see that.
Right on.
Yeah. So all right. So that's my piece there. We're done with that. Let's dive into some topics. Do you want to go into the money laundering thing right away, or do you want to just tick off the list as to what we got?
Tick off what we got.
All right.
Put that on the back burner.
All right. Next thing, let's just dump out a bunch of videos right here. The next one, we're only going to play. We're not going to play the whole 8 minutes, but we're going to play some from E.T. Williams, the Doctor of Common Sense, and so we're just going to play the first 2 or 3 minutes of it, and then I'll add something else to this. So here is the Doctor of Common Sense, E.T. Williams. Let's make sure that this starts
right about now.
To the helicopter crash shoots at our border patrol, and we supposed to accept their apology. Now I want somebody in a pine box. Damn it! I'm your host, the Doctor of Common Sense, and an advocate for real leaders in the damn country, a real soldiers, real men, real women. Now please get your cup and have coffee with me.
Cut now.
You can get it at the website or at the link below.
We started.
I don't know if you saw this story, and I'm sure many of you have seen this story by now, where a Mexican military helicopter flies into the United States and shoots at our Border Patrol agents, and then flies back over and says, oh, by the way, we apologize for that. If you didn't shoot that bastard down when they came over, when they landed, still shoot them. Blow that bastard up on their side of the border. You came across and shot on our side of the border, here's my example. Now, I'm sorry for blowing up your helicopter and killing your men. Don't come across that border anymore. This is the only kind of language that they're going to understand. We keep making excuses up for these people when they are attacking us on our side of the border. This is a complete lack of leadership. And it ain't just start with this sissy that's in the White House right now. Mr. Bend me over. George Bush was a little too kind to him, too. They're coming over on our side of the border on a regular basis, having standoffs with their military, and then we accept an apology. The first time you have a standoff will be the last time we have a standoff on our side of the border. Because I would tell my border, if I had to put the military down there, you shoot those bastards on sight. You come across the border and pull a weapon on one of my men, you're going to get shot and killed. I mean, I put a reward, a bounty on your damn head. You're not going to come across on this. You're going to know not to accidentally come across on this side of the turf anymore. But see, when we have been inviting all the illegals over for all these years, and especially now the whole floodgates are coming open, no wonder why they're coming across with helicopters shooting on our side of the border, just testing the waters to see how much they can disrespect us. I guarantee if I was the president, I guarantee that'd be the last incident ever happened, because I would declare an act of war you try with me. And another thing is, what I'm going to tell you is that you ain't got to worry about no more about your illegals. I don't care if you're from El Salvador, Guatemala, or Mexico, or Zimbabwe. It doesn't make any difference to me. We're cutting off all funding. It includes everybody in the school. I will issue a decree. It's summertime. School kids out of school right now. You may as well go back to your country. If you're not a citizen of this country, you will no longer be educated in this country. If you're not a citizen of this country, you will no longer receive medical treatment in this country. You will no longer exceed.
All right, that's all I got with Elmer. So it looks like GP is gone, which is okay. Just means I'm going to do the show by myself until he shows up. But at that point, we're going to... oh, are you back?
I'm back. Sorry, Jim.
Are you back? Oh, that's okay.
I come to the door doing something. I wanted to make sure my wife was all right.
Uh-huh.
There's been a guy coming around, and he's claiming to be from the city, and he's asking questions like how many people live here and what's your schedules, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
One of the neighbor guys warned me, he thinks it's a scam for trying to get elderly people to give up information so they know they go for easy houses to break in.
Right, right. Yeah, no,
I caught most of everything that he was saying on that video. I was unaware of that. That actually, when did that happen?
That happened just a couple days ago. So let me okay. Wow. What I'm doing right now with this is I'm going old school. We're going to try to...
So our guy drove into their... The Marine drove into their country.
We're sharing my screen. Yep.
And they're holding him, but these guys flew over and actually fired on people in the country.
Mexico is sorry for border crossing, although Marines' apology is not enough. What these guys did, they flew over in a military jet, okay? Or not, I'm sorry, in a military helicopter. Mexican military officials are apologizing for firing from a chopper at 2 U.S. Border Patrol agents early Thursday, just a couple days ago. One lawmaker says the incident draws a disturbing contrast with the case of Andrew Tamuresi. I can never say that. The sergeant, Marine, whose apology for accidentally crossing hasn't spared him. Duncan Hunter, that guy's from your neck of the woods, isn't he? Good guy.
Yeah.
He says it's ironic that Mexico says it acted accidentally in this case, and they ask us, we, to accept an apology when they refuse to acknowledge an authentic mistake on Andrew's part. So here's what it says. Early Thursday morning, a Mexico law enforcement helicopter crossed approximately 100 yards north into Arizona, nearly 8 miles southwest of the village of whatever, this Indian nation, while on a drug interdiction operation. Now, what they fired on was Border Patrol vehicles that are clearly from the top, have big numbers on them. They're marked not just on the sides, but on the top, so anybody flying over can see what's going on. They probably didn't speak English. Yeah, probably not.
Can't read English.
Yeah, that's what they're going to say. If we have to, I'm going to listen to part of this for 1 second, and if we have to listen to a commercial, I'm not going to do it.
We're going to make the vote equal for the first time in the history of the...
Yeah, forget it. I'm not.
Get rid of it in 3 seconds, JK.
Yeah, I could have, huh?
Gives you that option just to erase the commercial, go straight to the...
Yeah, I had it all set up, but so yeah, you didn't hear about that, huh?
Honestly, I didn't. I've been having these back problems. I've been out of touch. I didn't even been on watching television or doing anything. I was totally unaware of that. Just crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
I just think it's funny, JK. You know as well as I know, there's a double standard in everything that's going on in our society today. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We know why the border's not being protected. We've talked about it.
Right.
It's not by chance. These guys know they want votes. They let them come in. I've said it before. Republicans, businessmen, they're related, associated with these Democrats as well. They want cheap labor. They're going to allow that to happen, regardless of what we say. And along with that is going to come problems like this. Along with that is going to come criminals coming into here, drug activity, the whole nine. We'll get into that later. Like I said, I talked to you yesterday about the way they're laundering the money now.
Yeah, we'll talk. Well, let's just.
It's amazing, but yeah, I mean, the thing is, you know what they need to do, honestly?
What?
Is exactly what he said. You got to put your military on the border, and you got to take a stance. I'm not saying that we should shoot innocent people. That's not it at all. Okay? And we have to trust in the ability that we have through the technology to know who to fire on and not fire on. And until we get rid of the greed and the criminal element and the corruption, those drug guys are still going to come across and they're still going to bring their stuff across.
Well, here's an article that when you say you said about bringing the military. Breaking news: the militia forms blockade to defend the border. Tensions continue to escalate as the influx of the illegal immigration deepens. Now, we talked about last week, too, where all those kids that are coming across the border, those kids aren't there by themselves. Their parents are right across the river waiting to come over with them. As soon as we accept the kids, they're going to say, hey, my mom and dad are right there, and we need them. So anyways...
real quick, JK, can I just add on to that real fast? I'm sorry. My mother-in-law was watching the soccer game tonight. She watches it on the Spanish channel. So afterwards, the games were over, then they have the news come on.
Yeah.
There's some lady that comes on there. She's not from Mexico. She's from another Dominican nation over there. I can't remember now. I was waiting for my wife to come back here. And she's here. She's the president's wife of this country. I don't know if it's Honduras or wherever.
She's staying with you guys?
No. She's in Texas right now. She says she's here because she's concerned on the welfare of these kids. She's making accusations the United States of America doesn't care for these kids and that they're being mistreated and held in horrible conditions. And we're like, why didn't this lady come across with a bus to take them all back? I mean, seriously. And from what they were telling me, because I don't speak fluent Spanish by any stretch, but they were, both my wife and my mother-in-law do, and they were saying that the channel, the Mexican news was doing a pretty good job of ripping into this lady to ask her those questions. I mean, it's like, you know what? Here you are making accusations about the United States. These kids are coming here because of the horrible conditions that they're trying to get away from.
Right. Well, some of these kids they've already found are sick with the swine flu and a couple of other things going on. So yeah, I mean it's going to bring in a whole can of worms here. I don't know if this video is going to play or not, but I'm going to try it. It has to do with our military going down there and the militia.
The lady's from Honduras.
The United States is a member of their local militia, whether they want to realize it or not, and trying to get people to stand up and recognize their role in the militia as the first line of civil defense for their communities and others in times of crisis. That we don't need to rely on federal agencies or state agencies to come to our aid in times of need, that we have everything that we need right here in our local communities, and that is the people of our community and the citizens of our community.
The human crush pouring across the American southwestern border now has everyday people seeking ways to take action and make their point about the changing face of America and the humanitarian nightmare. One group is today at the border near Laredo, Texas, and is seeking to create a human chain to try and make lawmakers realize something has to be done. We are joined here in Midpoint via telephone by Barbie Rogers. She is the founder of the Patriot Information Hotline and one of the organizers of this citizen effort. Barbie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us then what the scene is now? I know that you're looking at it from a remote situation, but what is happening now in Laredo and how the effort is going with your group?
Well, right now we are still trying to contact every person and every patriot in the United States to go down and help do something the government should have done a long time ago.
I'm going to fast forward and see if they show any of it.
Can you give us an idea? Maine, California.
If they just keep talking to us late
for days and weeks, watch it every day. But we haven't seen anything yet of actual people, law enforcement shooting Americans. But
yeah. Anyways, so yeah, they've got. I mean, if you look up militia down on the border right now, there's a lot of them. Matter of fact, Anna is friends with a guy on Facebook, and she met him a couple times down at the Bundy Ranch. His name's Blaine. I can't think of his last name. But anyways, follow him on Facebook or whatever. And she said she's already talked to him about coming on the show. But he's heading down there right now. He's part of the militia, and he was at the Bundy Ranch as part of their security detail. Matter of fact, you know who he is, GP?
Who's that?
About a year ago, 6 or 8 months ago, there was a Marine that lives in Arizona. It's this guy, and he went to a town hall that John McCain was at. You remember that showed him on the news, and he stood up and he called John McCain a traitor to his face. And he said, if I were in charge, you would be arrested for treason. It's that guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show here eventually. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, they're like you said, I mean, with this, but let's jump off breaking news. Let's go over to, because this is part of it, the gift card situation with money laundering, because that's part of what's going on with these people coming up from the South. Now, Huffington Post, and I didn't pull up the article. I can in 2 seconds, but with this little system I got here. But the Huffington Post just did an article a couple of days ago about the money laundering coming up from South America, using gift cards as potential for money laundering. So it says, if you've walked through, and this is exactly what you said the other day, if you've walked through your local supermarket or drugstore lately, you've probably seen a stand of gift cards, often regarded as the most profitable, whatever. Except, however, one kind of prepaid gift card has some functionality as a basic checking account and can be abused by criminals so easily to launder money, according to the Financial Crimes Network. Now, is that what you were talking about?
Yeah. I wanted to, we had this conversation on the phone yesterday, and I didn't get into great detail with you, Jim, because I was in a hurry and kind of rushed. There's a way that they do that. The money somehow goes into their checking account, kind of goes into an account, okay? And then this lady was in line. I was telling JK the other day, I waited over an hour at one of my stores to get checked in because this lady was trying to buy $10,000 worth of gift cards. And it wasn't until the following, that was about 2 months ago, and about a month later I went back to that store and I was talking to the manager and telling him, he had another, it's San Diego, this is down in San Diego, and there's a lot of shady people down there that are homeless and everything else. And when I looked at this lady, okay, we could sit here and say, oh, come on, you're profiling. Look, she did not look like somebody that would even come close to having $10,000, okay?
Right.
She looked real sketchy, real, she is cleaned up as a homeless type person or drug person could be, but she was real shady looking. And so I was talking to this manager the next time that I went to the store. He had another situation with somebody trying to return something, and it was kind of sketchy, and it took me a half an hour before I got checked in there because he was dealing with this situation, and he was apologetic, and I said, I'm having bad luck at this store. And I explained to him the last time I was here, I waited an hour. And I told him the situation. He says, yeah, we're having a big problem with that down here. That's how all these people are laundering the drug money. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, they somehow, there's a limit on how much you can put on these cards at one time, out of your account or on the card. I'm not sure how that works, JK. Next time I go to that store, I'm going to talk to this guy in great detail and pump him for some information.
Well, I'm not to cut you off, but let me go right into that part about what this says on the article about how one of the ways that they launder money.
Okay.
It says another mechanism, there's a couple of them that they do on here. Another mechanism of laundering money, according to the Associated Press, would be to use dirty cash, drug money, let's say, to pay for prepaid gift cards, which are then trafficked outside of the U.S. The cards would then be used to withdraw cash from a foreign ATM or exchange for something of value. For the second scenario, they proposed a rule, if implemented, would designate prepaid gift cards as monetary instruments. Let's see, it'd be technically feasible to assess in real time the balance of a prepaid gift card for card holders to fulfill reporting requirements. I don't. That's
greed's going to factor into all this, JK.
Yeah.
I personally was just the other day again, okay, down in San Diego, okay, on Friday, and there's an elderly couple, and they look totally on the legit, and maybe they were. They're buying $5,000 worth of gift cards. Listen, let's trace all this kind of stuff that went on when it came to making of meth and everything else. And they go to these elderly people, whether they really know what's going on or they don't. They're easily buffaloed and easily used. People prey on that kind of thing, and these people are like, oh, well, I'm just going to get a little extra money. They don't even think like, well, how can you do that? See, you and I would sit there and process the next one. This elderly person just thinks, oh, really? I just go down there and buy these cards for you, and you're going to give me a free gift card for $200?
Right. Well, you know that if you withdraw more than $10,000 from the bank, it's got to be reported to the IRS.
Exactly.
And if you carry more than $10,000 through the airport and do not declare it, they'll pull you over. And you know how they can tell? The strips. If you hold up a dollar bill like this in the light and you see that little strip that's through there, those are actually magnetic readers. So that that's why you can just throw a bunch of money into those machines and it counts it out for you and spits it back. It reads it electronically like that, okay? So you can have $10,001 in your pocket and just walk through the airport to get on your plane, you will get pulled over because there's a system in there that reads how much cash you've got on your person. And if you've got more than $10,000 and you didn't declare it, they will pull you over and take your pants down.
Not to mention that if you have $10,001 bills and you're going to look pretty puffy.
$10,000 and
$10,001 bills, you're going to be pretty puffed out.
Yes, but how do you say $10,001? Like $10,000 plus one.
Yeah, $10,001.
$10,050.
Or you could act like you're Asian and just say $10,001.
Oh, $10,001 plus.
These prepaid cards.
Too high. What else was I going to say? Oh, so with the prepaid gift cards, those do not have the electronic readers on them. So you could funnel a bunch of that stuff out of there, and then
thousands of dollars without even being.
And there's not an easier. I mean, listen, like I said earlier, there's not an easier access. I mean, you're talking on the border right there. There's so many problems right there on the border in San Diego with homeless and everything else. People are desperate. It's an easy way that for them to get people to do that for them. Here, you know what? You need to go in and do this for me, and you'll get, I'll give you $200. You know what I mean? It's cheap. It's cheap for them. I mean, they used to, when they launder money through the banks, it's expensive because they got to bribe those guys. Like I said before, the best thing in the world that ever happened to the corrupt politicians is for all these inner city people to start getting elected as officials. Because the millionaires that have the rich that were in the politics before, it's a lot more expensive and costs a lot more to bribe a rich person than it does a poor person. Let's just be honest. Somebody that's never had more than $20,000 a year in their life, career-wise, or 30 or 50, you can offer them 10 or 15, and they'll bite on that in a heartbeat. You got a millionaire, he's going to want a lot more money.
Yeah, well, look what happened to Jesse Jackson Jr.
Well, there you go.
So, all right, let's move on to, speaking of M&M. We're going to talk about M&M for just a second.
Beautiful. I love M&Ms. Do you like peanut or do you like the regular better?
The pretzel ones now.
This is actually the better half of M&M, and it's actually kind of a cool story.
Did his daughter graduate or something? Or did I just blow the whole story? I'm sorry.
No, you didn't blow the whole story. There she
saw
is.
Something recently.
Eminem's daughter, Haley Scott, graduates from Michigan's Chippewa Valley High School.
Nice.
Now, I looked up that high school
young girl.
on the internet to try to find out if it was like a ritzy high school or a private, and I've got to believe it's probably a private one. But anyways, it's kind of a cool story, considering that her father talks about slashing the mother's throat and all that kind of crap, and the mother has been through her problems. So it says Eminem's daughter Haley Scott graduated with honors from the high school in Clinton Township, Michigan. She refers to her parents as the most influential during my lifetime in a profile on the school's site. My mother and father are because they have pushed me to be the person that I am and have given me all the support to achieve what I have. On the school's profile, her high school activities include National Honor Society, Student Council, Art Club, Key Club, and volleyball. She is slated to attend Michigan State University. That's kind of a cool story, you know, from when you see a lot of these rich...
Oh, yeah. You know the song. It talks about it in the next paragraph there about how that song, Haley song, I remember he used to sing about her all the time. Listen, man, the guy, you know, he went through some crazy stuff in his life. He made some money, and it looks like he invested some of it back into his family and taking care of his daughter. I think he's tried to work it out several times to try and work it out with his wife, ex-wife or whatever. I don't know how many times they've been married or reconciled or whatever, but I mean obviously I think she's got a history of drug and alcohol abuse, but the girl pulled, you know, that's a great story. It's awesome to see that somebody that's against those kind of odds and has parents that have gone through a lot and they still come out and, you know, very successful.
I read a story that she was named homecoming queen or whatever, you know, last fall or during the fall.
Yeah.
And he couldn't go to it because he didn't want to go to it because it would have distracted from his daughter. So they snuck him in, and he watched from the athletic room, like on a TV that was broadcasting it, so that he was there. But he said, if I go out there and if I'm in the stands or anything, it will take away from my daughter, and I will not do that. But I want to be there.
That's good. That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
A lot of guys wouldn't do that.
No.
They make it about them.
Yeah.
I've seen that down here where you know, you mentioned we had that clip a while back with Denzel Washington.
Mm-hmm.
His son was a pretty good football player down here. He went to college somewhere, but you know, I mean, he's not some all-American superstar. But Denzel was the same way. You know, just a very supportive parent. He didn't want it to be about him. You know, Wayne Gretzky with his kids. There's a lot of those parents that are down here, big celebrities, and when they go to the events, whether it's to watch a football game or whatever, Joe Montana used to have to sneak down on the sidelines so that no one would see him, so he could watch his son play, because it's they have every right to sit there and watch and support their child without everybody trying to mob them you know and I both know it's all because of the media. The media is the one that hypes all those guys up and does all that.
Yeah.
So it's nice when you see a story like this, but most of the time those stories get buried on the back pages.
Yeah, definitely. This next story, I'm not going to play more than about a minute of it because I really don't care, because I'm not doing this kind of crap. But what do I want to do here? 4th of July. A couple of the people were kind of concerned about this, I guess. Brett played this story or wanted it played because in some respects it is pretty crazy. So if this is the video that I've got up, let me see if... Oh, yeah. I do want to play 3 or 4 minutes of this. You will not believe this, okay? Now, I am not advocating drinking and driving. Duh. All right?
Yep.
But if somebody doesn't want to do the breathalyzer, I mean, they have tools, okay? Walk the line, count backwards, do all that stuff. If they can't pass those basic tests, you should, arrest them or whatever, right? For drunken driving. But not this. This crosses the line. Watch what's going on here. This is a true story.
Russ and Lisa, each year drunk drivers kill more Americans than the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan combined. It is often a tragic, preventable crime that frustrates law enforcement. That's why some say what you're about to see in Gwinnett County is justified when a DUI suspect declines to cooperate.
It's not justified. Bullshit.
I've never been raped by rape. This is so unnecessary. No! Excuse me. I never fought somebody. I didn't ever do nothing.
Do you know what they're doing yet?
What they're doing in Gwinnett County Jail is strapping down suspected drunk drivers to a gurney so a nurse can take their blood. Evidence that can be used against them later in court, even though the suspects refuse to give their consent.
Suspected.
What country is this? What country this?
David Boyle is a former Gwinnett prosecutor, now defense attorney.
Holding down and forcing someone to submit to this is really intrusive in terms of that level of invasive procedure into somebody's body is ridiculous for investigating a misdemeanor.
Intrusive, certainly. Invasive, you bet. But legal,
it's not a misdemeanor.
Yes, say authorities, even though the law supposedly gives you a choice. To get a Georgia driver's license, you have to agree to take a state-administered test, like this Intoxilizer 5000, if an officer suspects you've been drinking and driving. It's called implied consent. You can refuse, but if you do, you lose your license for a year.
There you go.
Plus, that decision can be used as evidence against you when you go to trial.
Why are they pulling
Still,
blood?
a growing number of DUI defense attorneys suggest you should say no to the test if you've been drinking. In fact, many advise refusing all field sobriety tests, claiming you're simply helping the police manufacture evidence against you, and a one-year suspension might be preferable to having a drunk driving conviction on your record. Veteran lawmen like Douglas County Sheriff Phil Miller admit that strategy has made their job tougher.
If you're drunk and you're driving a vehicle, I'm going to try to put you in jail.
In Douglas County, more people die from DUI accidents than murders. So 3 years ago, authorities there tried something new. Every time a DUI suspect refuses to take a breath test, Douglas County deputies get a search warrant to draw their blood.
On the spot.
For every DUI stop, even if there's no accident or injury.
Gathering the blood. That's
just a DUI stop if they want to.
Somebody's either not DUI or DUI, and it is what it is. If they're not guilty, they're not guilty. If they're guilty, they've got to face the consequences, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
If you're going to take their blood anyway, why give them a choice?
Well, the law requires us to give them a choice.
The sheriff says mandatory blood tests have also helped their conviction rate. This man refused the breath test, but the forced blood draw showed he was legally impaired at 0.16,
well, they could
twice
see that.
the limit. He pled guilty. A lot in Douglas County are doing the same.
You don't need the blood test to
that
find out.
Get to these people.
Every time,
Wow.
whether compliant
Look at that.
or complaining.
We can't take the chance that you're not going to lose your emotional control during a
DUI arrest
They
turned
strap
into the
him
worst
down.
night of his life.
Everyone.
He's yet to go to trial and says he's not guilty.
There was no accident. There was no accident.
Did anybody get hurt?
No one was hurt in
Yet.
at all.
Yeah, okay, but you let them keep driving and see what happens. That's a stupid defense right there.
Forced blood draws more than 100 times.
You're being searched for
Look at that.
2 miles of your blood that you're going to take now.
The practical application of that, of terms of forcing people down and holding them to stick a needle in their arm to get it, I think it's just an unreasonable search of those people.
Another showdown between personal liberty and public safety.
There's hardly anybody.
Yeah, can you believe that?
I just want to say that, I'm not in agreement with that. But what needs to happen is, let's just be honest, JK. Down here in California, and I don't know how it is there, they have advertisements on the news 24/7. How to get, all these attorneys, these scumbag attorneys, how they can get you off of any ticket, whether it's a DUI or anything else. They can get you off of all your tax problems that you've never paid taxes will get you off. Okay, and then on and on and on and on and on. Okay, and the police come out with a radar gun to check how fast people are going for speeding, and what do we come up with? A radar detector, which should be illegal. Its one sole purpose is to counter what the police are trying to do to keep people from speeding.
So why should a radar detector from a policeman be legal?
A gun?
Yeah.
Because it's their job to protect us.
So we start to give up our personal rights.
No. Your personal right, they're not invading your personal right when they use a radar gun to detect how fast you're going.
No, but just like you talk about,
first of all, driving is a privilege, not a right.
You talk about marijuana being a gateway drug to worse things, and I say that a radar gun is a gateway to what you're seeing there now. Well, it's not enough. We for their personal safety.
No. I'm just
draw
saying.
their blood.
Okay, let me finish. You cannot sit here and try and justify what these attorneys are doing. Okay?
No,
this
not
is
at all.
So let me just cut to the chase here, so you and I don't have to get into a 20-minute argument on a simple, easy answer. 1 year suspension for refusing to take a breathalyzer obviously is not enough. You have to make it, in order for them to counter this BS of doing what they're doing, just simply say, okay, this is how we're going to do it. You don't take a breathalyzer, 5 years suspension. If you take the breathalyzer and fail, you're probably going to get about a 2-year suspension. The way it is now, JK, hear me out now. The way it is now, if they take the test and fail, and you heard it on this report, what the attorney told them, his advice, refuse all things because 1 year is going to be easier than the 2. Simple thing, flip it. Make it to where that's way more of a penalty than going ahead and doing it, manning up and taking your consequences for your actions. So I say make it a 5 or 10 year penalty. If you refuse, you automatically lose your license for 5 or 10 years. Nobody has. Are you saying it's against your civil liberties to blow into to have somebody blow into a breathalyzer machine? Are you opposed to that, JK?
No.
Okay. So let's just do that. If we're in agreement of that, you're not into getting blood. You're not into saying. I'm not either. I think what they're doing right there is totally inappropriate. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But the solution to that is, and the reason I brought up the radar detector is because of this. The police are always. There's always someone countering it, and it's only designed for criminals. Listen, these guys that get on television, these attorneys that are on there, they're ambulance chasers. Their one thing is to help themselves get a lot of money helping criminals. Look, these guys are criminals. If you don't pay your taxes, you're a criminal, plain and simple. But they'll protect you. They'll get all those things wiped away. Meanwhile, you and I and other people that are doing it right keep paying more and more in taxes. These attorneys that do that kind of stuff ought to be held accountable themselves. It's wrong. They're not helping anybody out.
Okay,
they're hurting society. And now it's up to this.
I'm not going to pull a Brett and sit here and just start falling all over you and agreeing with you.
Good.
But I will say that yes, I agree with you.
It's just, you know, to me it's just a simple thing, Jim. They're advising. These attorneys are advising these guys to do this because this is going to get you. You're going to get away with it. That's what they're saying.
Right. Okay.
And as a result, back to your analysis where you said, okay, you think that my example of the police radar gun is a gateway for this. Well, I'm telling you, these criminal attorneys are a gateway for more criminal activity from criminals because that's all they're doing. They're not protecting the innocent person. JK, if your granddaughter hadn't gone through what she did, okay, but she was in that condition because of a drunk driver, I think you'd think a little differently, and so would I. That if that could have been prevented, but if you found out, hang on a second, if you found out that some scumbag attorney got that guy off 3 or 4 times, and this is like the 5th time, and now your granddaughter's going to live the rest of her life that way because of that?
Okay. Let's agree on one thing here. And I think we can agree on this. The law and the court system is not about the truth. It's only about cat and mouse game, who can be, otherwise all information would be allowed into court during a trial. So yeah, no, it's a screwed up system. It's designed so that somebody can cheat and lie like a scumbag attorney and get somebody off.
And usually it has to do with whether or not you have a lot of money.
Yeah, for the most part it does. All right, so let's move on to the next one.
OJ would not be a free man if he was a poor man.
Right, no. Well,
he's not free anymore, excuse me.
Not a free man now.
But at the time.
All right, so big news tomorrow on the Supreme Court. Tomorrow is the last day the Supreme Court will be in session. What's at stake? You guys have been following this at all? Hobby Lobby?
What's
going on with it? Okay. With Hobby Lobby,
Christians.
They are Christian owners, but it's a corporation, and so through the Obamacare Act or the Affordable Care Act, or whatever they want to call it, you must provide every single kind of contraceptive there is. They will support 7 out of the 10 contraceptives. They'll pay for the pill. They'll pay for all kinds of stuff. But as a Christian, they will not pay for the abortion pill, which is the what do you call it? The after.
Oh, right.
Morning after pill, and they will not pay for abortions. So they will not have their insurance cover those two things. And Obama and the rest of the left, of course, are calling abortion birth control. And if you don't believe in birth control or abortions, then you have a war on women, that whole thing. So anyways, they're going to be fined. If they don't do this, they'll be fined like $47 million. And I don't know how many millions it is every year. So I'm going to read you this real quick. The ruling's coming down tomorrow. On Monday morning, the U.S. Supreme Court is expected to announce its final decisions on the 2013-2014 term. Only 2 cases still remain undecided, and one of them is perhaps the most closely watched case of the year. At issue is the so-called Obamacare contraceptive mandate, the provision of the Patient Protection Affordable Care Act, which requires most business owners. Now, he has given thousands of waivers. Thousands to friends, corporations who are friends of his. But of course, they're not going to do it for a Christian one. If they became Muslims, maybe he would. What are the legal issues at stake? So here's the rundown. According to Hobby Lobby stores, it's an arts and craft retailer owned and operated by a Christian evangelical family of evangelical Christians. Now, these people was just a mom and dad and a family who started in their living room. They did well enough where they opened another store. They did well enough, and now all of a sudden they're this massive company. They're still just a mom and pop family business. According to these people, the contraceptive mandate forces both the business and its owners to violate their religious scruples by providing access to 4 methods of birth control that they see as equivalent to abortion, such as the emergency contraceptive Plan B. That requirement mandates and violates the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Let's go on here. Anyway, I'm not going to read that whole article. It's obviously long, as you can see that I'm doing that. So anyways, all the arguments are in. Everything's ready to go. It's something to simply watch tomorrow and see what happens, because it's a big, big ruling. And the thing is, you can't really count on Justice Roberts anymore, because the guy is so left-leaning that it seems like every single person that Bush has put in has turned out to be a left-leaning guy. No. Oh, so did he. All right. So did you see the Tea Party? Did you see what happened to Thad Cochran last week and McDaniels down in Mississippi? Did you hear about that?
Nope.
Okay. Tea Party favorite McDaniels was leading in the polls. And Thad Cochran is a Republican senator, 40 years in the Senate, 40 years. So the Tea Party, this guy was way out ahead. So with about a week to go, 4 or 5 days to go, somebody in the Republican Party had a brainstorm and they go, hey, let's start robocalling all these Democrats, because you can vote in these primaries. Called all the Democrats and said, hey, go to the polls and vote for Thad Cochran, not for the Tea Party guy. The Tea Party guy is a racist, and he's going to fight Obama and try to undo everything Obama's doing, but Thad Cochran will be our friend. And then during the fall elections, all we have to worry about is Thad Cochran. So the Republicans went against a conservative. Well, finally, one of the liberals thought this wasn't cool. So conservative activists and Tea Party groups throughout the country might have been unhappy with Tuesday's Senate Republican runoff that thought it saw thousands and thousands of Democrats crossing party lines to choose the incumbent, Thad Cochran. But a longtime Democrat seat warmer, Eleanor Holmes Norton, apparently wasn't happy either. Let's see, Norton is the delegate of representatives for the District of Columbia. She is a non-voting delegate, of course, because she's in Washington, D.C. Really has no representation in Congress. by design of the founder, so she really has no responsibility at all other than to collect the $174,000 she's paid for doing nothing. That's typical. But when she's not making a six-figure income for parroting around the house, she made headlines with these tweets. Returned this weekend to Mississippi for Freedom Summer this week and saw black, I don't know what, Maysians, used the vote we fought for to seat a white senator. Anyways, I can't read. But that's what happened. So the Republicans were fighting a conservative because the Republicans, like you said, are exactly like the Democrats. They're all the same. They don't want a Tea Party person in there. Comments?
Pretty silly. Another easy solution. Easy solution. Just don't allow them to cross over like they do. Democrats shouldn't be allowed to vote in those situations.
Right. But there's
go back to the way it was. I mean, they open up these things so that can happen. It's not by chance.
If you log on to Facebook or if you log on to YouTube right now to watch almost any video, well, every single time you log on, there's commercials before you watch the video, right? And then you can push 5 seconds and pass it. Well, all those commercials are geared towards whatever you look for on the internet. Well, for some reason, well, not for some reason, but because I look at a lot of conservative blogs, one of these commercials comes up on my YouTube videos all the time, and it's some group. I don't know if they're liberal, I don't know if they're conservative, I can't tell, but they are trying to get everybody to vote so that everybody can vote across party lines. Well, we just saw what happened. If you decide that, hey, this Republican's going to be friendly to us, and we don't want the conservative, have all the libs go vote for. I mean, it's a scam.
Oh, what a tragedy.
So, anyways, and then real quick to feed off that, the mainstream media is back at it. McDaniel campaign, which we just talked about, appears to be mounting a legal challenge, saying that the dirty tricks that Thad Cochran were used against the GOP. Okay, GP, here's one thing, like what you said. If a Democrat voted in the Democrat primary, they are not allowed to also vote in the Republican primary. You've got to pick one or the other. And they said they've found already 2,000 or 3,000 votes that they know of where these blacks who crossed over and voted Democrat and went back over and voted Republican. And that Thad Cochran won 25% of the Republican vote, but he lost the race in his Republican primary. So anyways, a lot of good things happening here that the mainstream media hasn't reported on. Take, for example, Dan Bonigo, whatever, the former Secret Service agent who was risen in a national spotlight. He beat his opponent, but he didn't just beat him, he annihilated him, 84% to 16. Kurt Clausen won down in Florida. Ken Buck won in Colorado. Here they're mentioning 5 or 6 other people. So the Tea Party's in good shape. Conservatives are in good shape, but they're not reporting on it.
Like this one.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Do you guys see this one? You know about the Washington Redskins, right?
Yeah.
All right. How about this? This is insane. Army's Apache helicopter is under assault. Veterans aren't happy with a recent op-ed by the Washington Post, which charged that the Apache, Comanche, Chinook, Lakota, Cheyenne, and Kiowa military vehicles were a greater symbolic injustice than the Redskins' names. Isn't that stupid? I mean, seriously, when does it end? That's
well, just... I got to go back to what Anna said, and we're no longer going to be allowed to eat red skin potatoes.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That'll make me a racist. You are
right.
what you eat. So if I start eating redskins.
Hey, so what do you think? What do you think about the fracking that's been going on? North Dakota, all of that, where they're pulling up all the oil out of the ground.
Yeah.
All right. So all of a sudden, and I was kind of for it, I guess, but who knows? What do I know? But all of a sudden, in the last month or two, Central Oklahoma residents, let's see if I can get this. Oklahoma demands answers on recent earthquakes. Look at that woman's front porch is all torn off. Central Oklahoma residents are demanding to know whether earthquake swarms that have shaken their homes and their nerves in recent months are caused by oil and gas drilling operations in the area. About 500 people attended the meeting to research. We're going to have people hurt and damaged, says this one lady. So do you know what fracking is?
Yeah.
Okay. Ruthie, do you know what it is?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, they're having a swarm of earthquakes. Do you think that could be part of it?
Yeah.
I've said for years that I have no doubt that we drilled so much oil in California, it's not even funny, and all, you know, and that's like supposed to be the earthquake capital of the world. You know what I mean? You know, here's the thing,
Yeah, but
Jake.
Saudi Arabia doesn't have a bunch of earthquakes.
Do we know that?
No.
Money makes people funny. Money makes people funny, and I guarantee you that you know, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. Somebody who makes a living has got a very tainted view. I don't want to go too far in either direction. I want to find somebody that's in the middle that doesn't have either of those. You know, I don't need an Al Gore who thinks that, you know, the way he does about everything, and I don't need a Rush Limbaugh on the other side. And we need to talk.
But it's hard to do because everybody's got a stake in it, because Al Gore made millions upon millions of dollars off this theory, and then you've got other people like these oil companies that are making billions themselves.
Well, but Al Gore didn't practice what he preached. Look at his lifestyle. No, I'm just saying. I'm saying I don't go with either of those two. I'm going to find somebody that doesn't have a stake, doesn't have a dog in the race or a horse in the race, and find somebody, find those type of scientists, those kinds of people that study this type of stuff. And no, because let's face it, we're still guinea pigs. How long have they been doing this?
Not very long.
You know, this is something that's new and recent, and the point I'm trying to make is the people that are making tons of money on this, they're going to say, oh no, there's no proof that we can do. You know, they're sold out because the money's tainted their view. Now, if it was their house that happened to, and they didn't have the money to do anything or deal with the situation, it'd be different. But I mean,
so let's say that it's almost a losing battle, because let's say that we go with your theory, and which is right, a good theory. Let's find some independent people to run a study to find out if this is right or not. And both sides are going to pay people off.
Yes.
So you don't really know who, because you can't go to a trial where they're not paying an expert, a doctor or whatever. They're all being bought and paid for. So we really don't know. We never will know.
I think that the comment listen, this stuff wasn't happening before. Now it is. Okay? My thing is, I would say, if we're going to find, again, like you said, the impossible thing to do, a judge that's going to make this decision, that's going to use common sense and say, you know what, we don't have enough proof on either side, so I'm going to err on the side of caution and say that for now, until these people can do tests and prove that this doesn't affect it, then they've got to stop doing it.
And go back to Fred Flintstone cars.
Well, no, we horse and buggy.
It'll definitely help with the obesity in this country.
Mopeds. Yeah. Mopeds is a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're killing ourselves off, JK. I've said that for years when it comes to the cure for cancer. The cure for the cancer is just to get rid of all the stuff that we've invented and brought into our society.
That's all that processed foods, which these food companies are making us. Whoa, wait a minute. You got
our phone's got to go.
Wait, you just got a new one? Is that yours?
No, this is an antique.
Yeah.
The phone's got to go, brother. Okay.
That's the 5.
You and I will not be able to talk on the computer anymore. That's going to have to go. We're going to have to get rid of a lot of stuff. We're going to have to go back to drawing on the walls in the cave to communicate.
Hey, I'm already starting the paleo diet.
I can send you some smoke signals, but other than that,
we could do the show that way, huh? Well, if we got a long enough string and some tin cans, we could do the show that way.
Oh,
I was just going to say we could do what's that?
Oh, Morse code.
Morse code telegraph.
Dude, I promise you. Well, wait 1 second. I'm not going to promise you. I just want to show you something because I have no idea if this is worth anything or not. But watch this.
Oh.
There you go, man.
That's so rad.
What I'm talking about. We can do the show.
I'm telling you. Check this out. Oh, sweet.
That is so
We can do the show.
Look.
Yeah.
2 of them. I got 2. They're ancient. And
that's so awesome.
wait, where's the? Yeah, I freaking A, man.
Somebody took it in when we were going to the university together, and she speaks Morse code fluently. I'll hook you guys up.
So if
yeah, there you go. I have no idea if these things are worth money or not, but
when the big one hits,
oh, heck yeah, they are.
When the big one hits and everything falls, then we're going to be going to look to her to get communications.
There you go. When we had our retail clothing store for 9 years, the last 2 years I changed. I turned it over to Ashley, and basically gave it to our youngest daughter and called it Ashley's Treasures. And she turned it into a resale shop. And this guy had all kinds of crazy old stuff that he gave us, and he gave us to sell on consignment, and then it never showed back up. And just some crazy stuff. And that was part of it. A couple of Morse code deals.
That is so cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to, we're just blowing through little topics here. I like starting earlier, to be honest with you. Have you guys ever seen Twitchy?
Twitchy.
You should subscribe to Twitchy. Okay, Michelle Malkin. Do you know who Michelle Malkin is?
Nope.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here's one of the things that by using this program this way, we're going to be able to screen share Michelle Malkin. She's so cute. I'm sorry. Woo. Really super smart.
Oh, okay, I remember her.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. No, we had Dana Lausch on before.
Oh, is that who it was?
Yeah.
They all look the same to me.
No.
I didn't just say that. No, I didn't. That's not her.
Dana Lausch, baby.
Well, maybe it was her. I don't know.
That's her right there.
No, you've popped her photo up before, but I'm talking about way, way back. Didn't you pull up Michelle Malkin for something years ago?
Maybe, yeah, because she's so darn smart.
Very, very early on you did. I think it was when Joey was with us.
You probably.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so she has a website she started a couple years ago called Twitchy. And Twitchy is, they follow people's Twitters. So they always report on different Twitters. Well, check this out. Her little thing here is, stay classy. Gay marriage supporters mock conservative dad's son, then blame him for posting the photo. So here's what happened before I go into this. You know how tolerant the left is, right? Don't make fun of gays, don't make fun of this, don't make fun of that. Well, watch what a bunch of folks, not all gays will make fun of other people. There's some really great, beautiful human beings who are gay. So I'm not blaming the gay community.
Those are people who just live their life and go on with it, and they're not out there.
Yeah, just like anybody. But there is a community of hardcore that does crap like this.
Radical.
Okay, so this guy, he was just on Fox and Friends with his son, and he's the director of something. It'll talk about it here. It says, it posted a picture. My son and I outside of Fox Studios after my interview. Well, what followed it was, that's a boy. the LGBT radicals speculate at no update. President's son looks like my daughter.
A daughter.
A daughter. I can't read. That's the guy, and that's his son. But he was so proud that he had his son on the show with him that he did a selfie. So his selfie was my son and I outside of Fox Studios after my interview. So, poor kid. That was one of them. Looks like a daughter to me. Maybe that oldest daughter in the back. Family Christmas picture. Maybe also 8 kids. His wife has to raise them alone while he's out hate mongering. So sad.
Just because he doesn't agree with them.
Right. Yep. Typical Catholics. They like to go forth and be fruitful. For all we know, his kid could have gender identity issues, and Brian's forcing him to be a boy.
Oh yeah, sure.
Hey, it's not our fault. He put his kid out there. Besides, we're speculating. So now they're blaming the guy for just posting a selfie, blaming him for their behavior.
Right.
Yeah.
They're idiots. They're idiots down here when it came to the same-sex marriage. They did all kinds of crazy stuff to the church that if it had been done to them, people would be put in jail. Down here, they refused to prosecute, sending white powder in the mail, all kinds of crazy stuff, vandalizing churches. There's a very radical element amongst them, and they're a bunch of punks. You know, they want to hide like little weasels. They don't want to be out.
Okay. Did you guys see what was called the best ever, the best Final Jeopardy answer ever?
Oh yeah, no. I saw something about it.
I'm gonna play it, and then we're gonna see if it was the best one ever and find out why we think so or not. Okay, let me make sure the volume's up. Yep.
When a woman
here we
wears
go,
a hat, she can't always move the way she wants. Now you.
Okay, I'm gonna turn that down for a second. That's one of the downfalls of.
Wait a minute. Why are you getting Stay Free commercials? You said these are based upon stuff that you interviewed.
Watching Post Live. One Jeopardy contestant may not have won the day, but he seems to have won the title of greatest wrong answer ever. The final clue of Thursday's episode was apparently a hard one. It read, in 1891, this European said, perhaps my factories will put an end to war sooner than your Congresses. Here are the contestants giving their answers.
Let's start with Patty. You had $3,000. Were you able to come up with anything?
No, I said
is
Carnegie.
No, that's not good enough. It'll cost you how much? $2,500. You dropped to $500. And now we come to Ari. He had $8,800, and his response was, who is this handsome gentleman? Good for you, Ari. And your wager?
It cost you
$2,700. That drops you down a bit. $6,100. Now Jennifer could not be caught.
The last contestant didn't guess at all, but still managed to walk away with a win. The handsome gentleman, or Ari Voukidis, is a comedy writer from Los Angeles, and he told Today, when I realized that I didn't have an opportunity to win,
that's Ari?
Jeopardy, then I went after a sort of secondary target, which was to come up with a good Final Jeopardy answer so I could kind of lose on my own terms. Well, he definitely did that. Because of him, Thursday's Jeopardy episode has been viewed more than 80,000 times on YouTube. Put that into perspective, Wednesday's episode barely broke 800.
Okay. Now,
can you spell his last name, Jay?
Oh, I don't know. I just took it off. All you have to do is look it up. That's not Artie Lang. It's just a comedy writer. That's not Artie Lang. All right, let me.
No, but didn't that guy used to write for Howard Stern?
No, that's Artie Lang.
No, not Artie. Ari. I know the difference.
Yeah.
I thought this guy.
I don't know, but.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I tell you why this guy's a freaking idiot?
Yeah. I have to agree.
Okay.
Because he's not handsome.
No, hold on here. Here, I'm going to pull this up. Okay, watch this. So this is why I had it loaded on the show, but I'm going to point out one thing here for you.
European said, perhaps my factories will put an end to war sooner than your Congresses. Here are the contestants giving their.
He's not that old.
Let's start with Patty. You had $3,000.
I want to show you something.
Were you able to come up with anything? Who is Carnegie? No, that's not good enough.
She's a dumbass too. Listen.
2,500. You dropped to 500.
Dumbass.
Now we come to Ari. He had 8,800, and his response was, "Who is this handsome gentleman?"
Oh, you're so funny.
Good for you, Ari.
Good for you.
Your wager? 2,700. That dropped.
Okay. He paid $2,700 to tell a joke.
Yeah, honestly.
Why in the hell wouldn't you say I wager $1 and keep your $8,800?
Because he doesn't get to keep the money. You don't get the money unless you win.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then why didn't he wager $8,800 and walk away with zero since he walked away with
Well,
zero?
there you go. I think you only get the money if you win. I could be wrong.
I think that you leave with what you got, and the winner continues on week after week after week, gaining more money. And that other lady who had zero answer, and she walked away with $500. I want to look that up afterwards, but she bet 27. What dumbasses! All right, now Ruthie, it's very appropriate that Ruthie is here for this next one. This is the smartest answer ever. Was no answer.
That's right.
Have you seen this?
No.
Here we go.
100 married men. Which of the 7 dwarfs describes your wife in bed?
Dopey.
Right. No, I don't think so.
I'm not pushing it.
No setup on that one.
We asked 100 married
What?
men. Which of the 7 dwarfs describes your wife in bed?
Not me. Not me either. No, I ain't pushing it. You push it. No, I ain't pushing it. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, but there's no way. You know what, JK? There's no way that game can continue because whoever pushes the button first,
yeah,
somebody's got to push the button and just refuse to answer because they got to go to the next member of the family. But they can't do that.
Well, I think they would start. They would start with a new question. Hey, can I say your glass, your pink, Ruthie's glasses that you're wearing are crooked?
I'm trying to read something, JK.
Okay. All right.
He's got to lean back.
All right. We're gonna do another.
Second place finisher gets $2,000. The third place finisher gets $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so he gets the same amount of money, finish second regardless.
So what?
Yeah. Well, if he would have done what you said and bet $8,800, it would have cost him $1,000.
Yeah. So he should have just said, "I bet $1."
Well,
Alex.
Yeah. I got you.
All right.
Point well taken.
All right. Ruthie has never seen Jody Miller, so I'm going to play Jody Miller real quick.
I don't know if she's ever seen Bob. What about Bob? What's Bob got to say?
Well, he didn't have any new videos this week. So,
what?
Yeah. The last one was 6 days ago. We already showed it. All right. Now, Jody Miller is a little dry. It's a little dry sense of humor, but it's some funny stuff. So here we go.
Busted. I'm Jody Miller. Let's get started. A federal court has renewed the NSA's ability to collect American phone records for another 90 days. Of course, the court did this. The NSA has their phone records. Current surveys show America's confidence in television news has fallen to an all-time low, which is scary because TV news is President Obama's only source of information. The editor of the Washington Post said we should negotiate with the Taliban more. So it's official. Liberals want Obama to negotiate with everyone except Republicans. Montana's former governor, Democrat Brian Schweitzer, was caught saying that Eric Cantor set off his gaydar. And the mainstream media not reporting this has set off MRC's media bias radar. CNN's Paul Begala said if Obama tried to cure cancer, the GOP would attack him. I don't know, Paul. Anyone smart enough to cure cancer would never be stupid enough to create Obamacare. Democratic Party activists are pushing Michelle Obama to run for Senate. That makes sense. She wastes taxpayer money on lavish vacations just like a real politician. Jennifer Lopez's new album is a total bomb on the sales chart. And to make matters worse, they say it's selling as poorly as Hillary Clinton's new book. And finally, the makers of the dating app Tinder have come out with an app for people looking to get into threesomes. It's the perfect tech solution for guys who want to disappoint two women at the same time. I'm Jody Miller. Make sure to tell your friends about us. We'll catch you next time.
That's cool.
She's on there. Let's go
I gotta
over.
look her up more often.
Let's see here. We are not going to do this segment because there's really doesn't matter. It was a bad boy segment. Caught on video, furious man confronts police officers after a cop entered his private property and shot his, quote, best friend in the head. It's kind of sensationalism for the thing. But what happened was the cop, they were looking for a boy who was lost, and the cops were knocking on doors and going into homes. Nobody answered at this home, so the cop went into the guy's backyard, and there was a dog there, and he felt the dog might be threatening, so he shot the dog in the head, and then he walked out to the front yard, and they kept looking for the kid.
Oh.
Not insane.
Yeah.
I mean, absolute police stake, you know. And then later in the video, so he says, the cop says, we're looking for a lost child. This guy entered the yard looking for a lost child. He was threatened by the dog and shot the dog. That's as simple as it gets. Later in the video, the guy has said, tells officers he'll be hearing from his attorney. Anyways, they should.
You know, and it's that. This is another thing that infuriates me because now he's just basically suing all of his friends, neighbors, family members. There's got to be a way that these things are handled where these cops pay a penalty for stuff like that. It's never going to change. They don't care. They'll tell you that flat out. Sue us if you want. It doesn't affect them at all. They don't look at it like that. If they start going after him personally, say, you know what, this is coming out of your pension. It'll change. We're going to take your house from you. It'll change.
Right.
It'll change.
Good point. All right. Now, yes, I think
the new lesbian.
I think she's cute.
The new lesbian.
I was gonna say,
Ellen
I'm kind of concerned that my wife finds her cute, knowing that she's gay.
Well,
is this Ellen Page?
Yeah.
Oh,
here, now I've got a point to my pictures here. Frank Ocean, Ellen and Portia, all these people are gay. Every single person I'm bringing up here is gay, right? Maria Bello, Wentworth, Sarah Gilbert, Roberts, whoever that is, I don't know, Cheryl Wright, Darren Young, we know that. Alan. Now, hold on. I'm going to see if I can pull this up so you can see this guy's name.
What about the guy from the musical group? Forgot him. Backstreet Boy?
Shoot, you can't see this guy's name. Honest to God truth. His name is Alan Cumming. Cumming, and he's gay. Isn't that great? Matt Balmer, Jane Lynch, Jason Collins, Robbie Rogers, Elton.
Elton's not gay. He's just happy.
Chris Koffler, Boy George, Amber Heard. Can you believe that?
He's just confused.
Clive Davis.
Clive Davis is really gay?
Yeah. Zachary Quinto.
That one.
Charisse. Ricky Martin. We knew that.
He's not gay. He's got a wife.
Don Lemon from CNN. Adam Lambert, Ann Burrell.
Put that guy up there from the vampire movie that Ruthie likes.
Kat Cora, Jim Parsons. Chaz Bono, George Michael, Cheyenne Jackson. I got to point to this. George Takei, Foster, that idiot Lucas, whatever. Michelle Rodriguez. Now, she's not necessarily gay. I think she's bisexual, but maybe she's just gay.
Who?
Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah, she is.
Okay.
That doesn't surprise me.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Lance Bass.
There he is.
There he is. Jonathan Knight, Ian McKellen, Martina Navratilova, Victor Garber, Melissa Etheridge. I'm reading them all. Cynthia Nixon, Sean Hayes, Wanda Sykes. This guy is such a girl. He's such a fruit. Johnny Ware, Tabitha Coffey.
Oh, that's the ice dancer guy.
Yeah, Clay Aiken, exactly. Come on, turn page. Clay Aiken, RuPaul.
No way.
The list goes on, man. David Hyde Pierce, Rosie.
Not Rosie.
Nathan Lane, Meredith Baxter.
Hey, I think that Rosie and Nathan Lane are the same person. Pull that up. They always said Michael and LaToya were the same.
Oh,
tell me that's not Rosie.
Oh, wow.
Come on.
Might be, huh?
Those two are never seen at the same time together.
Here's the point I would like to make. Okay. And I think that I think that we should create a Facebook page that calls out every single gay entertainer, athlete, entertainer, every single one of them, and gives them to, like, I don't know, maybe September 1st to come out of the closet or shut their mouth. Because all those people have already come out.
Yeah.
Who's hiding? Why are you hiding now? Because 6 months from now they keep trickling out, and all of a sudden this one's a hero and that one's a hero. You're not a hero. You're just a human being who happens to love somebody of your same sex or whatever. People are going to be for it or against it, whatever. But you're not going to hurt your career because look at all these people who are already come out of the closet.
And
now,
quite successful in the closet.
The people who I think are...
Some of them didn't even have a career till they went out and said they were gay. Then all of a sudden they have a career.
Now, I work with 2 or 3 people, 1, 2, 3, that I know of that are gay, okay? And everybody knows they're gay. Yep. And they bring their spouses, their whatever they are, they bring them to all the functions, parties and stuff. Significant others. But here's my point. All of those athletes and movie stars and stuff who come out and gay, if they lost their jobs, which they wouldn't, you only lose your job in Hollywood if you're conservative, yes. They all have plenty of dough in the bank. They got enough money in the bank, almost every single one of them, that if they'd never worked a day in their life and they wanted to live frugal or a normal life, they'd never have to work again, right?
Yep.
The people that I work with who have already come out are making $50,000, $60,000 a year, whatever it is. They're making normal wages. If they lost their job because they were gay, they would be struggling to go find another job. Those kind of people who have everything to lose, when these other people have nothing to lose, they come out. Those people are more brave to me than an athlete or an actor or actress who comes out and says they're gay.
I couldn't agree with you more. I actually work with someone who experienced that and lost her job about 25 years ago. She was making $40,000 a year.
Where did you go to work after that?
Well, yeah, no, she came to our company, but
no, I was teasing. Yeah.
It's just like to me that's far more impressive than.
Yeah, I'm more impressed with my friends, these people that I know that are gay, who don't have $1 million in the bank yet they came out. Yeah. Jason Collins and all these people are no heroes.
No,
yeah.
No, I agree.
You know who's a hero to me? It's not Jason Collins. It's his brother Jared. He has to put up with everything. Is it Jared? He now has to wear a shirt that says, "I'm the straight one." He's my hero. Because everybody's going to think he's gay, and they're going to say stuff and everything else. That guy's going to have to wear a shirt now the rest of his life that says, I'm the straight one.
Because they're twins, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to another cool story. I thought this
that was good.
That was good. That was funny. So here, see, here's one of the problems with that. I need to make my screen region a little bigger. Amy Adams gives first-class airline seat to soldier, sits in coach. Did you hear about that?
No.
Just happened. Amy Adams has enchanted audiences with roles in everything from Disney musicals to Oscar-nominated American Hustle.
Yeah.
But it's likely the ever-popular starlet just gained more fans through a subtle act of kindness. According to ESPN host Gemma Hill, Adams gave up her first-class seat on a flight so an American soldier could sit in a classy cabin. Hill, who co-hosts Numbers Never Lie, tweeted about the event. She's tweeted, "Just saw actress Amy Adams do something incredibly classy." She goes, "I'm even a bigger fan now." So later, Hill told FoxNews.com, "I was on a flight from Detroit to Los Angeles. While I was in the boarding area, I noticed Ms. Adams, and she was glancing at an American soldier who was dressed in uniform. I heard her whisper something to the woman she was traveling with. I was upgraded to first class where Ms. Adams was. I saw her leave her seat, and then a flight attendant escorted the soldier to her seat. It was pretty obvious she'd given up her seat for him. I later asked the flight attendant if the soldier knew who had given up the seat for him, and she told me that he did, and that she met the soldier privately near the cockpit area." Pretty cool, huh?
That is awesome.
And where she agreed to give up the seat was before boarding. She walked on, or she went up to the front desk and said, "I want to do this." And they said, "You talk to the pilot and talk to the crew and make sure it's okay." So she went in there and talked to him, and that's when the flight attendant went back and got the guy.
So this wasn't when they were already in the air?
No.
Prior. Huh. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So it was premeditated.
So yeah,
That's possible.
it was premeditated act of kindness by
Yeah. She'll probably get prosecuted for that.
Ms. Adams did it so quietly. Here's what's cool: is this lady says she did it so quietly that it speaks to her character. And somebody in coach just got a hell of a seatmate. Now at the end of the flight or whatever, the person she was sitting next to, they took a selfie together and tweeted it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Hang on a second. I need to get this information.
Okay.
She went from Detroit
to
LA. Does it say what airlines?
American.
American Airlines.
No. Actually, it didn't say.
Doesn't say what airline she was on?
No, it just said she gave up her seat to an American soldier.
Can't stalk her for an autograph.
Why am I surprised?
Oh well. Next one.
All right.
That's classy. That was good.
Yeah, that's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
I loved her in the movie.
Hey, you want to see my aunt?
Clint Eastwood, The Curve.
Yeah.
Trouble with the Curve.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was Amy Adams, huh?
That was a great movie. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Debbie Cook White.
She's my that's my aunt. She puts she puts a new selfie of her every time. You don't think that's my aunt? It's my Aunt Debbie. Watch. Friends. Let's see if she has relatives on here.
She's 20 years younger than you.
I know. I was.
Dude, that is my aunt. That's my mom's sister.
Your parents had kids when you were having kids.
Dude, she's only about 5 years older than me.
She's not 5 years older than you. There's no way. She does look like your sister a little.
Yeah, she does. That's here. I'll show you some photos. Watch this. Okay,
Am I allowed to talk about your sister on the show?
Not in front of me, but that's fine.
I apologize.
Here, I'm going to show you something that you'll like. Oh, never mind. She doesn't have it.
Picture of you?
Oh, wow. That's
there you are. There you are,
right there. That's my Uncle Eddie. That's her brother. Anyway, she's one of 18 kids.
Isn't that her right underneath the eagle and the American flag? Isn't that a picture of you?
No.
Oh.
Was I in there?
It's
anyway, so one of the things as we're playing around with this program here, now that I'm able to screen share and show some, some of the channels that I was showing, we can like do stuff live like this, like looking at the pages.
Tell your wife to go make you a French dip sandwich.
Haha. Yeah. Here, I wanted to pull this one up. Okay.
All right.
Not that I really care about, Mexico winning or losing or whatever, but
I had a chance.
I couldn't frickin' believe this. How do I make this picture bigger? I can't, can I? All right. So I played soccer for 18 years. I wish I could make that bigger, but I played for 18 years, and Crystal was an Olympic development goalkeeper. She was great in her own right and all that. So I'm looking at this.
What's that guy covering?
Okay. First of all, see, how do I do this? Is my arrow? Oh, right there. Okay, see right here, his left plant foot is pointed to the left.
Yes.
If your plant foot is pointed in a certain direction, you can't. It's very hard to fire a shot in the opposite direction. So you pretty much know. He's going to kick it to the left. Okay. Yeah. Now, so first of all, the defender over here is holding his crotch, and he's turning away from the shot. Second of all, the keeper. You see the keeper right here? He is positioned behind his defender. How the hell? So look at the spot over here that
where
the guy.
He should be.
That right there is the actual ball. That ball there is behind the fence. That's the ball. That was such a. So my point is on this is that the keeper's job is to direct his defenders.
Yes.
And
yes, but wait. Let's refer this to military talking language, Jim.
Okay.
The goalkeeper is the sergeant, okay, and he's to instruct his soldiers. But every once in a while, Jim, you know as well as I know,
he's the general.
Defectors. This guy's a defector, and that's why we have friendly fire. Someone's going to shoot that guy when he gets back home.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right. So here's another angle that I drew up.
Oh, my goodness. Talk about a wide open net.
I was getting into this today. All right. See these black lines? These black lines, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are Mexican defenders. Now, this guy, he's okay.
Yeah.
And this guy's okay because if this guy here crosses the ball in here for this guy, well, you got 2 defenders and he's okay.
Right.
But this bozo and this guy, they're see the straight line?
Yeah.
That's the keeper standing in, and this guy over here, easy shot.
Straight on.
Straight on.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, they're in the freaking World Cup.
Yes. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Now that kind of let me we're talking Mexico here, so I can say this, right?
Yeah.
Go back to that shot, Jay.
Okay, hold on.
This kind of reminds me of the United States Border Patrol. All these guys are over here where they shouldn't be, and this guy right here, the guy in the orange shooting straight on, that represents the free path across the border with no protection.
That's a Rio Grande.
How's that?
That's a Rio Grande with a bridge
going right into San Diego. Boom. No questions asked.
That's the Rio Grande with a bridge going over, leading right to Disneyland.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Good analogy. All right, so since I've got this new program set up, I just realized something. I can play this for you, and we'll finish. There you go. We'll finish up the show in a few minutes, but here is something that you had wanted to see, and you didn't see.
Ah.
We're going to make the vote equal for
wait.
the first time in American history.
Skip it.
Oh. No. This is the commercial I was telling you about. Yeah. Listen to what he said. This is the exact same problem that just happened down in Mississippi. I do not agree with this. Listen to this.
History by getting rid of the 2 things that make us unequal. The closed primary, which now silences more than half of us, and the vote-splitting spoiler effect that diminishes our voice for each additional candidate we like and compels us to choose only the lesser of the two evils. We're establishing a unified primary.
See, a unified primary so meant that all the black Democrats could go across lines and vote for the Republican they wanted to run against. Now, all the Republicans voted for McDaniels, but McDaniels lost because some Republicans joined with Democrats to keep the lesser two evils in, actually. All right, so now I'm going to skip that. So, yeah, I don't know what the hell.
But see, here's the thing that's amazing, is that guy's been in there for, what, 40 years?
Yeah.
40 years. I mean, we need to, wake up and get rid of these career politicians. 40 years.
Do you know what he ran on? He said, because I've been around so long, I've got seniority, so I can bring more money home to the state.
Yeah, right.
He just admitted that he's part of the $17 trillion deficit problem, and all these people said, hey, no problem.
They still voted for him. They're idiots.
Yeah. All right. Here's part of what, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I wanted you to see this.
Well, I guess Mexico is declaring war.
Oh, we already saw that.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay, so we've covered everything.
We did.
Oh, wow.
Can you just show us cup real quick?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
We're going to make the vote equal for the first time in American history by getting rid of the two things that make us unequal.
For the United States of America, because that's the one thing I can possibly take from this. They send a helicopter across, shoots at our border patrol, and we supposed to accept that apology.
I love his music.
I want somebody in a pine box, damn it. I'm your host,
damn it,
the doctor of common sense, and an advocate for real leaders in the damn country, a real soldiers, real men, real women. Now please get your cup, have coffee with me.
Can you freeze it? Oh, I want to see what is it? I can't read it.
You can get it at the website or the link below.
No, I'll show you.
I don't know if you saw.
Watch this. Okay, what? Here, you're gonna love this. This new little system that I'm playing with, so we can kind of figure it out. Watch this. Oh no. Here's what we want to do. Whatever happened to common sense? He's got a website, and on his website, he's selling all this stuff.
Oh, you can buy it. Gotcha.
Oh.
Oh, there it is.
We need to get that cup.
Use common sense. Mr. T. Williams.
Prescription Common Sense. RX Common Sense. Dr. E.T. Williams. Patient American citizens. Sip slowly until common sense overtakes your sleeping mind. Damn it. Liquid Sanity, 15 ounces. Quantity as many as needed. Refills by all means. Expires never. Isn't that hilarious?
Next on my list. Oh, that one.
Okay, let's see.
There it is. Okay, use common sense. Damn it. Gotta get one of those, JK.
Yeah, it really should.
What does it say on the left side?
Here, let's see.
I didn't read it.
Okay. On the other side, it says, charter member common sense, your name
your
here.
Name. You get your own name on there. Nice.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. I am gonna work.
$29.95.
GP, I'm gonna work at getting him on our show.
I think that'd be great.
He lost me at $29.95.
Yeah, isn't that?
I love you, brother, but not for $30. Come on, man. JK,
Yeah.
tell me you didn't pay $30 for your mug.
Another shovel job.
I can take a picture of him in that T-shirt with that slogan.
Yeah.
I can go down to CVS Pharmacy down here, and for $10 they'll put it on a mug for me.
Right.
Make your own mugs.
Yeah. Okay.
That way I don't have to send out and pay all that. Plus, I got to pay shipping and handling.
That's what I had to pay. That's why mine cost so much. It was $12 freaking bucks to ship it.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane. Okay.
Well,
you got to forward that picture to me, and I'll have mugs made up down here for $10.
Well, I didn't even think. I should have done that. I could have done that. All right, so Drinking with Bob. Have you ever seen Bob Drinking with Bob?
Oh.
No.
This is great.
We're gonna play one. Now we played this last week, but we're gonna play this just for you, okay?
Obama joins the Taliban.
Hold on, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2.
That guy's talented. I want to see that.
Oh wait, what happened?
What?
What's next? I'll tell you what's next. Bo Bergdahl. Bo Bergdahl is an American who joined the Army about 5 years ago. He was sent out to Afghanistan. After being in Afghanistan for about a year, he decided he didn't want to be in the Army anymore. He decided he didn't like America anymore. He wrote an email to his parents saying how much he hated America. Then he wandered off into the Afghan desert to join the Taliban. The Army said he was captured by the Taliban. They considered him a POW. They sent out search parties to look for this guy. Soldiers in those search parties were killed. We never heard about those soldiers. Their names are never on the news. Their names are never in the papers. Nobody cared about those guys. Actually, nobody cared about Bo Bergdahl till a couple of weeks ago. Why all of a sudden has Bo Bergdahl become important? The guy was missing for 5 years. I'll tell you why he's important. Because all of a sudden there was a Veterans Hospital scandal in this country. Soldiers in this country were being treated badly by the Veterans Hospital, and it made Barack Obama look bad. Obama didn't like this. He wanted to change the news cycle. So he went over to the Middle East, and he sat down with al-Qaeda personally. He told al-Qaeda, I'll release 5 al-Qaeda terrorists to you, and you give me back Bo Bergdahl. Because Obama thought if he came back with the only American POW, soldiers would like him again. People in this country would like him again. So we sent 5 Osama bin Ladens over to the Middle East where they're currently planning on killing Americans, and they sent us one Bo Bergdahl. The media were elated. King Obama had redeemed himself. Bo Bergdahl's hometown planned a big celebration for his homecoming. Bo Bergdahl's father made a speech in the Rose Garden at the White House in Arabic. Everything was great in Obama land until the people actually served with Bo Bergdahl, the soldiers who were by his side. See, this guy's not a hero. He's a freaking traitor. He wasn't captured by the Taliban. He was a deserter. He went AWOL. We also found out that what Barack Obama did was illegal. He's not allowed to release any prisoners without letting Congress know 30 days in advance. Barack Obama should be impeached. Barack Obama should be in Leavenworth prison, bent over a freaking toilet with Bo Bergdahl behind him stroking his freaking hair. That's not going to happen, though. You want to know why? Because the media has no morals and the Republicans have no freaking balls. It's ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous. What's next? What's next? What's next?
Isn't that great?
I'm digging his white T-shirt.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Can you picture him in a wife beater T-shirt doing that? Oh my God, they'd hang him.
All right. Do you want to see one more or no?
I've actually seen a few of his videos.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I was going to do the one from last week. That was not last week's.
No, that one was definitely.
That was good though.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Last week was U.S. being invaded by Central America.
Oh, jeez. I've got to see that one.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right, we'll play it and then we'll stop with all that. Then we'll jump off the air.
What's next? I'll tell you what's next. Illegal immigration. It just keeps getting worse and worse in this country. Every day we have thousands of illegals coming over the border. Now the majority of these illegals are unaccompanied minors. These kids have diseases. They have measles, mumps, scabies. How long do you think it is before those diseases transfer to your kids? Why are these people coming over the border? Because their government and our government is telling them they're going to have a better life over here. They're going to have a free education, free healthcare, free housing. When they come over the border, we're putting them into shelters. That's costing us millions and millions of dollars. And I'm sick of it. Let's forget about these shelters. What do we should do with these illegals when they come over the border? Let's put them up in 5-star hotels. Let them order room service, freaking raid the minibar. Let them have as many pool towels as they can carry. Then we take the bill from the 5-star hotel and we send it back to their government with a note that says, come get your people. If their government doesn't pay the bill and come get their people, then we put sanctions on their government. I mean, we sanction Russia because we don't like what they're doing. We sanction Iran because we don't like what they're doing. So why can't we sanction Guatemala and freaking Honduras? Are you freaking kidding me? And if the sanctions don't work, you know what we do? We take our army and we march them south. We start taking over these countries. I mean, if we're going to support their freaking people, we should at least have the benefit of owning their freaking land. Are you kidding me? I mean, are you freaking kidding me? What's next? What's next? What's next?
You know, I don't know if Greg told you, but you know, the worst part for me today was watching the wife of the president of Honduras sit there and try to, she came here solely for the purpose to make sure that we are treating the children well, that we are taking care of them, and that they are in a clean environment, and that they are, I mean, the bottom line is that they're well taken care of. It made me nauseous listening to her, try to tell how, and now in Honduras, what we're doing is, we're creating all these programs for children now, and I'm like, great. Then you know what? We've got a slew of them that you can take back now.
Yeah.
Because if you're preparing all of these wonderful programs for children, take them back.
Yeah, and who's paying for it?
And the worst part is that as the reporter kept telling them, he kept asking her, he kept trying to get her to answer the question, she would dance around it. And I'm like, you know what, where's your husband? Nobody wants to see you here. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Where's your husband? Tell your husband to spend some of the money that he just used to send you down here and take some of those kids back.
Right.
It's nauseating, and yeah.
I just had a brilliant idea when you were talking. Brilliant idea.
Well, you have them quite frequently. I'm sure it doesn't surprise me when I talk.
Wow. Talk about Brett stroking.
It happened because you were talking. I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end the program, and then we're gonna talk about my brilliant idea because I'm not gonna do it on air.
Sounds like a plan.
So we got to close it out though. But when we close it out, there's a certain way we close out the show, right?
Gotcha. Does Greg dance?
But that don't keep her love.
We have to sing.
Mr. Me,
the party's over.
Turn out the lights.
The party's over.
They say it all. Good things must end. Call it a night.
Greg's actually fantastic.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Same old crap again.
Once I had